Hello and welcome to Communication Connection. I'm Terry Likes. We often focus on the accomplishments of students, alumni, and faculty, and in this case, we're going to celebrate the career and the pending retirement of Dr. John Forde, longtime public relations faculty member and former department head. John, thank you so much for joining us here on Communication Connection.
Well, thank you, Terry. I'm glad to be here with you.
37 years, longer than that total in higher education, and 15 years as department head. You've certainly made an impact on so many, and I know that it probably seems like a blink of an eye, but this is a time for reflection, of course.
Yeah, well, and thank you again. And it's been interesting because if you would have asked me way back in May of 1983, will you be coming back in 4 years to teach? I would have said, no way. And then we were very blessed, Connie and I, to have positions here and moved 2.5 hours north from where we were living. She was teaching at Jones Junior College, and I was PR director at William Carey. And we were very fortunate, too, that her twin sister and brother-in-law were here as faculty already in the College of Business, and Carol and Mark Lehman. And so we just felt like it was, God led us to come to Mississippi State, and it's been 37 years. And here we are. It's been a neat journey, and we've had a lot of great students and faculty and administrators, professionals, and others who've been there for us as friends and mentors and colleagues. And both our sons were born here. And so this is really home. And you mentioned about the journey. When I first got here, I was the only public relations instructor and professor. And so we had a lot of different classes. I taught all of them. And then I was also over the internship program for the department. And we've had a lot of growth since then, both faculty, students, programs, and I was faculty member there for 17 years, and as you know, for 2004 to 2019, I was department head, and then back to faculty for 5 years, and had the chance as department head to keep teaching, and then I kept advising our public relations Student Society of America, so that was good.
15 years is a long time as department head. I can certainly attest to that.
Yes, it is.
But when you look back on it all, we can't list everything, but I know there are certain things you must be quite proud.
Well, I'll just name a few, and I think first of all I have to mention students. Our students are tremendous, and they're among some of the best leaders on our campus, and they typically win many awards from professional organizations, and we've made it a point to take them to conferences with us so they can win those awards. So I put students up there at the top. We have great alumni. They've been very supportive. Many of them now have very high-level positions in all areas related to communication and other areas too. And I think one of the ultimate compliments from alumni is many have sent their children and other relatives to our department as majors. So they must have enjoyed what they got from our department. Our advisory board and now boards, I think that's another great accomplishment. And that, of course, includes alumni, but it's also other professionals, and we have students and faculty working with them to improve the department. And many great things have come out of the advisory board as far as projects and outcomes. That's been excellent. Our TV show that we're doing now, we started that, and Mike Gogman I saw earlier, he and I were talking, and at the time there was no other department doing a TV show, and so we started that, and I'm glad you've continued that. And as you know, as I was ending my time as department head, we did the New Narrative Festival and Conference, and we started that to really showcase Mississippians, and what we had as a 2-day event with entertainers and keynotes has now evolved into Story State, which I think has been excellent.
And with that in mind, you've certainly seen the department evolve and grow over the years too.
Right. Well, we've had a lot of growth, and for a long time we were known as the service department. We got up to 500, well over 500 majors, and have been consistent with that number for a long time. We do teach public speaking, intro to comm, to students throughout campus, but then we also have a lot of students who will take our courses as electives or minors too. And we have our traditional areas that we've had for many years: public relations and broadcasting and journalism and theater and common media studies. But now the really neat thing that I've seen happen the last few years, and again, a lot of thanks to you and others, and Dr. Melody Fisher, our coordinator, but the graduate program has gotten a really great start. And then now we have our public relations concentration and our communication and media studies concentrations online. So this communication is vital for careers, and I think our students really understand that.
I always remember you telling the faculty, and you've told me this as well in the past, that one of our most important jobs is to hire new faculty. And in this case, in some ways, paying it forward. Many of the faculty we have in the Department of Communication right now are people that you once had in class and or hired at some point. So a lasting legacy as far as transitioning to the future.
Yeah, it's been interesting because so many of the faculty they're our best graduates, and they went off and got a graduate degree or degrees, and in most cases got some really good professional experience, and then came back here, and we're glad to have them. They've been doing great things. I've also been really excited about the number of awards our faculty have won over the years, both on campus and through professional organizations, and that's been teaching, service, and research. And the other thrilling thing for me, and again, I've been here 37 years, is the number of faculty we have who have been promoted and tenured. And that, I think, shows the quality of the faculty we're attracting, both those of ours who came back and others from the outside. And we've worked hard, you and I and others, to generate money for travel and other support so they could be successful.
Also, anytime that I go out in the public talking with alumni, they're always asking about John Forde. So your networking ability over the years is legendary, and they certainly think fondly of you.
Well, thank you. And networking is the key to life. So I'll typically tell people when they come in that if you're an alum of ours, we claim you forever. And then one of my other things I'll tell students before they even enroll is that you must do well in your classes, you must do internships, and you must make connections. And so we try to help them make those connections. And one of the other things I'll say is that the who you know will get you in, the what you know keeps you going. And so we've had times where students, years and years after graduating, have contacted us, and we've been able to help them locate a position or move to another city or something like that. So we really like those alumni connections and like to help them.
Other noteworthy things, you certainly saw growth in scholarship dollars for students over the years, and some other key initiatives like PRISM, the student PR agency, speech and debates growth during your tenure, and the Digital Media Center came about in the last few years. Talk about some of these accomplishments.
Right. Well, it's exciting to have well over $30,000 for our department in scholarship money. And we use that money for recruiting, but we also use it for retention. And our alumni have been very, very supportive, and others in donating money to us. I was honored about 5 years ago. John Arledge, a vice president, Entergy, and his family started the John Forde Communication Fund for Excellence, and I was just flabbergasted. That was so nice. So we have the scholarship money there. You mentioned PRISM, the student-run public relations firm. That was something that we had been trying to do for a long time, and Dr. Terry Hernandez was vital in that as the first teacher. Then Anna Blunt and Anna Wilkinson and Kelly Anthony have been keys in that. Dr. Rick Travis, our current dean and dean at the time, and then Dr. Judy Bonner, our former provost, really helped that get started. So that helps students have agency experience before they even leave college. And that's been fantastic. And then the speech and debate team was really Cheryl Chambers' idea, and we didn't have any budget. We were just trying to find money, and in a few short years, they've gone to just kind of piecing things together to having national prominence, and as you know, too many awards to count, and buy new trophy cases and things like that, so they're becoming very well known. The Digital Media Center was a direct outgrowth from an advisory board meeting with Stephen Canetto, who's in the library, who was on our advisory board, and they were doing some renovations, and then Max South was interested in being a sponsor of something, and so we worked on that, and that's been great for our students in broadcast, but also other areas too, and people from all over campus can use it. So those are some of the lasting legacies, I think, and as you mentioned, our faculty that we have now will continue the legacies we've had in the past and then bring more in too.
Certainly family has been important to you, and now you have of course, your two sons. Now you have grandchildren, for which I know you're very proud, and,
Oh, yeah.
and somewhat spread around the country, too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, Connie and I have been very blessed, and as I said, our sons, John, David, and Daniel, were both born here, and this is home, and they're both now grown and married, and we have 4 grandchildren, and 3 of them are with JD and Sophia with wonderful wives, both our kids. JD and Sophia are in El Paso with 3 grandkids, and then Daniel and Laura are in Ridgeland with 1 grandchild, so that's been good. And granddaddy is a term that I love, and I answer quickly to that. Connie and I had the chance to serve as faculty members together for 30 years, and the last 6 she was department head and I was department head, and I was able to coach our children, and then we've been very involved with the community and the church and other things and many other community events. So it's been a great place to be, a great college town.
It is a great college town, and now as we look toward this next chapter for Dr. John Forde, I know it involves some professional work and certainly personal and family time. Tell us about your next chapter.
Well, I've been passionate about teaching, and I always say that our best students can compete with anybody in the world, so I tell them that and remind them that all the time. And I like to think of teaching like coaching and mentoring, but I would like to teach part-time sometime down the road, do some consulting and public relations. I'll stay involved with some of our professional organizations. Personally, Connie and I, of course, will go visit family and friends a lot more and be able to go see some sites we haven't seen, go to some MSU ball games, hopefully even some away games. Those are some of the things. Church-wise, we have a new church, New Journey, Global Methodist Church. I'd like to join a Bible study or 2 and get more involved in helping that church grow. Civic-wise, I'll continue to be a loyal Rotarian, and I'm on the Starkville Community Foundation board, so those are important areas. And physically, you know, as an athlete, if you don't keep it up, it kind of goes away. So working out once a week or once a month even sometimes is not quite enough, so I'd love to work out more and work in the yard more, play golf more. Those are a few things to kind of get back in shape. And I've even joked somewhat that I used to be a musician, so I may break out the old cornet or even learn to play piano or play guitar. So those are some of the things down the line there that I'm looking forward to.
Well, you've never lost your passion for teaching, for public relations, for the discipline, for helping faculty and students along the way, and I think that's one of the reasons why you are thought of so fondly here on the campus and around the country as well. So John Forde, we congratulate you on your career. We look forward to still having you around the campus and being a vital member of our community, but congratulations on your pending full-time retirement.
Yeah, well, Terry, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate your leadership. And I look forward to many more accomplishments from the department and the university.
Well, and we thank you, and the university and the department are grateful as well. And we're grateful for you for watching Communication Connection. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.